as Lou said, the real purpose of games is divination. That's another way to speak. You might say intercession, I'm not exactly sure what that word means. As an intercessor. How about that? That's what I was trying to say. Games can be fun. And like I can hear Maria say, and we really suggest, participation, not audience watching. That makes you the masses. But what can transform a game into magic is your view of the game, your perspective, your attitude. If your attitude is every millionth of a millisecond is ordained by the gods of this world, multiple gods. How many, Joe? I don't know. It's not up to me. They're one. It's up to them. I tell you all the time, Lou, Donna, that's Mama, that's Grandpa and Grandma, even though they look like they're 20. And you got Mama, you got Mama Orsic and Sigrun Orsic. That's what I call her. And you have Addie the Avatar, the great Balder, the great good one. And people, how could you say that? Didn't you? You'll never understand. You'll never understand what it's like to have millions of people, hundreds of nations, saying they're going to kill every one of you. And on the battlefield, you are outnumbered 10-1. What would you do? Well, I'll tell you what the Germans did. They made a calculation using mathematics, like a computer. And they were like, we need this many munitions. They calculated it all out. That's why they had the work camps. And people like, you're for freedom? How could you be? I'm not for a work camp. Just like I'm not for 100 nations ganging up and attacking one. I'm not for the New World Order blaming the wrong people. I'm for justice. I'm for justice. I'm for what's fair. World War I was a goddamn ruse. Everyone knows it. That was your, the first Crowleyite Zionist move. And like Maria said, I don't like to talk about it. It's too sad. That's what enraged me and inspired me to fight on, was what happened to the people I went to school with, my country, my Austria, my mountains, my trees. I don't like to talk about it. It's too emotional. She said, just know, we know who the enemy is. And if you're so soft and weak and shit, I don't hate anyone. Guy, just write masses on your head, on your forehead. Sorry. I don't mean to be mean and sarcastic, but the realness of what's going on in Iran. Lila, let me tell you this story. In 2003, when the Iraqi war, the war against the Iraqi civilians, Because why did we declare war on Iraq? Because they suffered under the CIA installed dictator, Saddam Hussein. They were both always on the same side. Who knows? He might not even be dead. They've had clone technology since World War II, and now we're 4.5 million years in the future. They know that. The people on the astral plane that control the actual world, of course they know that. They're using that technology. They know everything I know, and they remember more. But they just cannot stop Maria Orsic from working. This is what she does. She is the woman healer. And I'm coming to you. I don't know exactly when the solstice is, the sol ace. You know that your ace, your one, your is. Just think about that word is, how much everything is. You know, it is this, it is that, it is, is. Think about that word. Every time it comes off your mouth, it is the serpent Isis, the Mississippi, the Mrs. The Miss is Isis, the hippie. M is Isis, the hippie. Mississippi River, Heil. Missouri River, Heil. Our sacred, beautiful women that we love more than everything else. Heil to the beautiful Sigrun. And those last two gods that I am aware of is whom I am going to make this prayer to. And that is the wonderful and beautiful Jason Balder, Shiva, and his beautiful, most beautiful sister that we all know, who has been demonized as much as Addie the Avatar, the one and only most beautiful goddess of death. And you think, that's bad. But as Maria said, that will be your first miracle. The moment you die, you will be miraculously healed in a moment. What you've always wanted. Instant balance and restoration. Your first breath in that new world is simply your last breath here. And that's the final word for the Matrix. Unless you're going to be tricked into coming back. People like, I've listened to near-death experience people. They don't say that you go before fucking any Marilyn Manson-looking demon. That's because they're not real. That's because it's not a war. That's because they don't hate people who cut the heads off of children, rape children. They don't give a fuck about anybody or anything. And ignorance, unbelievably, is bliss to them. You get me? You hear me? You know, where did that come from? Ignorance is bliss? It came from goddamn reality. And they turn it all off with a simple, well, there's nothing I can do about it. That is polar opposite of the God, Miguel Serrano, who does not dwell in this world. He is a God. And you can pray to Miguel Serrano. He is the mountain of hell. He is the greatest artist in all of history. To me and Maria, he's the greatest, the single greatest work of art is the Book of Notes to us. And we consider that better, in essence, than any dance, any song, any movie. It's simply like defines what words can do for a human being. And as he says many times, only the poets will understand. Me saying, like, the true artist comes from his own true experience. So when he says that, it's a way of saying you have to experience what I did. And he's saying it that way because he knows that you can You most, the odds are you won't live through such pain and loss, and it's so crazy powerful that we shift all of reality to avoid ever thinking. That's the one thing that the simulation, and that's the main thing that keeps us coming back, right? And I'm saying to you, this is a simulation, and I'm saying to you, it doesn't matter, because simulation or not, the principle of collective punishment and ruining people's lives, all is energy, everything is energy, and me and Maria Orsic are here to fight that energy to the end and forever, eternally. Individualism to us is sovereignty, is the rule of yourself. And the R rune, and she said to me, you know what the R is for? And I said, Rama. She said, that's right. And what's Rama backwards? I said, oh my God, Amar. And she said, is that Mars? A Mars. And she said, you know what that is, don't you? I said, no. And she said, it's Amor. It's just, different inflection. She said, you know how psilocybin is a tiny molecule different than DMT from a tree or a vine? I said, yeah. She said, that's the difference between Rama, Amar, Amars, and Amor. I was like, oh my God, Mars is the fucking planet of Amor. And she was like, exactly. I go, damn, that's fucking crazy. And she said, you know who inhabits that planet? Back, now, 4.5 million years in the future from this Matrix Day 2025. I said, no. This was way in the beginning when she was just a Missouri River goddess to me. And because she was explaining to me that each race, and that's the original races of the giants, is basically, replicated how their society, planet is constructed. Really, I guess you could say solar system. Because they're giants. Were the most inbred people ever. And that's why this whole constant, condemnation is the worst thing ever is incest. And, of course, abusing a child is the worst thing ever. Using force and fraud, period, is disgusting, evil. But, we have a weird materialistic literalism that's going on right in front of our face, where we see the elite families all marry their cousins, their half-sisters, their half-brothers, or even their brothers and sisters. How do you know that? Dude, research, motherfucker, research. Not only does Maria, tell me this, and they know what they're doing scientifically. Everything you're told is a fucking lie. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying what's wrong in the more. There's no 10 Commandments. There's no law of God. That's for sure. Right? How do we know that? There's no one to enforce it. There's nothing there. You go look. Go look. Go look inside yourself. Go look outside yourself. Right? As inside, so outside. There's no God that way. There's something, but no one knows what it is. We don't know what it is. And if you want to call it, alien, we don't agree. Because we call it blank, blank, blankety blank, star, star, blank, blank. There's no words. And I'll just tell you, I don't even know for sure, how this happened. And someone might say, well, you might change your mind. No, I might have more experience, but I'm not going to change my mind, right? This isn't Christianity. This isn't a choice. We're going to talk about instinct versus intuition. Instinct is the truth. Intuition is what New Age, Crowley, boring cunts who have come from the big Kabbalah cunt to fucking make the world boring. I'm sorry. You suck. You New Age people that aren't shamans and don't, have really, I cannot, it doesn't touch me. It don't appeal to me when I listen to someone tell their story of enlightenment and ascension and the Kundalini while they were meditating. Their story has no substance, no fucking content. There's no actual, literal, logical content. It's all, well, I had a feeling, and the feeling went up my spine, and then I knew, all this. And I'm not saying shit like that don't exist. I don't know. I'm telling you. I mean, obviously, I'm telling you my experiences, and it's I don't even know. The world is so sad and so trying to get attention and trying to be worth something and trying to have value, and that's why Maria has me doing it, and that's why I'm doing it, to try to lift you. You're going to have to take a risk, and you're going to have to make a commitment to something, And what are we saying? Yeah, you have to commit. If you want a relationship with plants, you have to commit to it. Oh, plants aren't conscious. You just can't, eventually, you can't be around people like that who devalue life and lead us to get lackadaisical about force and fraud, right? One time, Maria said a pretty outrageous thing to me. I had never heard her say anything like it. And I said, because I've never seen her mad, ever. Ever. So I want you to get this context. After 5/5, it was like everything changed. And Maria was checking on me daily. And I was feeling some totally new energy that was almost out of control, man. I was out of control militant. And that's the word. And I wouldn't have used that word. It's the wise mother who, has a way with words. And they were actually visiting me during certain things. Like I would plan to talk to someone, and Maria would be like, I'm going to be here, okay? Just to let you know. I'd be like, holy shit, this is, that never happened. And, a few things happened that summer, and I almost thought she was mad, you know, at like the lack of results, maybe. I don't know. Not at me or my work. No, not at all. Uh, I didn't know. I didn't know why she looked so serious. And I just instinctually, ironically, said, "Are you pissed?" And she laughed and she said, "No, just militant." And it like fucking echoed through dimensions and worlds to me. And ever since then, I've had a new militancy to get shit done. Why? Where's the? I don't even. It's a culmination of everything, even like fate and destiny. You know what I mean? Of like, why am I doing this? My granddaughters come to my mind first because Maria said they're biracial or mixed race. I shouldn't biracial. Man, we're all heavily mixed. If it's just like, dude, we've lost all control, right? Let's put it this way: they're mixed race, which some people would totally condemn. And Maria was like, "No, Joe, believe they're as much a part of this whole plan as anything else, as anyone else, and on purpose, purposely, this will all be passed to them. And, in the future, a mixed race, biracial woman will be the head of the Vril Society." She said, "You know what? The Matrix keeps rolling on. Just keeps rolling on, Joe." And she said to me, believe it or not, some people are going to live through this, Iron Age, this, war of destruction. Because why? It's a simulation. So instead of becoming totally unlivable in a flash, it resets to perfect, cleansed nature. And I don't know how to tell people how powerful Maria is, but when she says that, she has the ability to like project into my mind images, pictures, to help me understand what she's saying. And I said, all of it. I said all of that to set the context, to say to you, I am alive right now, June 20th, 2025 in America. And this is my prayer to our beautiful mother, Mother Mary, Mother Maria Orsic. Sweet mother, beautiful mother, the best energy that's ever existed. We ask you to especially watch over Iran and every single, hardworking, living, trained person. No matter what happens, may you be with them, heal them, make them prosper in their hearts. bring them together, and may you help them feel the spirit of the ultimate warrior, right? Lucifer, whose family came from northern India, but he was born, and I've said this over and over, in Iran, what we would call modern day Iran. And he is Allah. So you see, even more than Palestine, land of the pale-skinned Indians, even more is Tehran. Taz Ra. In Ra. I Ra. You don't understand. Iran means I'm the lion Ra. I'm the lion Ra. And they're doing it all on purpose. Clown face and fuck face and stupid face and ugly face and crowl face and blafat face, pedophile hall. You all are so fucking boring. You suck fucking cock, you're disgusting. You suck. You're not for the average working person. You think you're chosen, you think you're better than us. But the real truth is, that's all they have is their books and their knowledge. They don't have the love for each other that we have. And Maria is saying that as your mother, Iran, as your mother, who worships your mother, Queen Diana of Persia, Queen Siata. It ain't no bullshit. You know, the Queen of Persia is Queen Sita, because that ancient name means what? Sister. What are you saying? Lou's saying my wife is my sister in every way you can ever imagine. And then with his mind he said, well, actually she was my actual cousin, so yeah, it was incest. I did marry my cousin and fucked her. They're both that blunt. They're both that beautifully, authentically honest. But let me tell you, the Process Church going straight at Queen Diana, Sita Shiva, Sita Kali Shiva, is the final Golden Dawn mushroom class. You know what it is? Like Maria said. Go ahead and tell them, Jojo. What it is, we're going to give you the blow by blow right now. And that's why we're praying for Iran. And our heart is with Iran. The people. The sufferers. And their government is the people, basically. Not like ours. Not a clown-faced TV star with a makeup team. Yeah, how many dudes you know, tough guys with makeup teams? Let me tell you, the biggest people in the other countries listening, the biggest fucking dorks in America are these baseball hat wearing ex-military muscle UFC guys that love Joe Rogan. They're the biggest nerds who read pickup artist books and just, like Maria said, they're so fake, so cheesy, like unoriginal. And this is you know, I'm tough. I listen to music that goes with the UFC, like music that says I'm a insecure person inside, so I gotta be like, I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad. Like, damn, dude, what's wrong with you that's what comforts you? I remember telling my friend, he was like, I'm surprised you're not into death metal and shit. I was like, dude, I'm the last person to be a Christian, but that sound, the music, sounds like literal suffering and pain and just hell. Of like, being tortured, and I understand you are, but dude, you really want to project it on all of us? You think that that's a good vibe? I mean, it boggles my mind, And I've never been into metal or death metal or any of that, but I was open to it, of course. I was into punk. And my friend brought me to a, like, crazy, it might have been Slayer or Megadeth or something like that. I really don't remember. Man of War, I think it was. Open, maybe. Dude, I mean, it was so fucking loud, it, like, damaged me. Punk bands were that loud, too. Husker Du was the loudest band I've ever heard. Louder even than Slayer or whatever, who was playing that night. But I told him, I said, dude, I still don't like it. It's still hokey and cheesy to me to act like that. To act like it's like people who can't fight, or people who want to be like they're like expressing it through the music. Like my friend said, it's like people through music going like, I'll kick your ass, man. I will fight, and it's like, dude, direct this shit. I don't know. It's just never resonated with me. And I apologize to people that do. I'm not criticizing. And I know it's deep. I know there's great lyrics. I know it's deeper than fuck. I know they talk about everything that I talk about. People tell me about German, Swedish death metal and how deep it is, the spirituality. I'm all for it. I just don't really like it. I would rather be with those people. That's what I'm trying to get at. When I went to the concert, I was fucking 15. It's one of the first concerts I was ever at. I can just tell you, the first two concerts I was at before this, I think this was the third or fourth show I ever seen. The first band I ever seen was the UK Subs. And the second band I ever seen was a great bill. 45 Grave, The Vandals, and Black Flag. And then I think I went to this, I want to say maybe it was Slayer and Megadeth. And this would have been 1985. 84, 85. And everyone there looked like they came from fucking hell. You know what I mean? Just everybody's faces were painted up, like demons, and it was just wild. And I felt a little weird. I mean, I was totally out of place. I looked like the Clash. I had my combat boots, my jacket, my army jacket with like all my band names painted on them and shit. My hair all spiked up real high, and so there were a few people that were like, said something to me, like something, I maybe, to tell you the truth, I maybe not, because everyone was so nice there. I told my friend, my God, dude, these are the nicest people. I'm not fucking kidding you. Because I had been to I'd been to the two punk shows before that. And there was some real danger there. There were real motherfuckers that were going around beating the fuck out of people. Real skinhead, racist. And all this was real. And no bullshit. I told him, I'll go back just to hang out because everyone was so cool. And I had just met my girlfriend, Tammy, at Black Flag, and I considered her the cutest punk rock girl in the history of the world. But at the heavy metal, death metal show, I was like, I really like these burnout girls. These burnout girls are cool. These burnout girls are real. They're beautiful. I mean, damn. You couldn't have believed how many beautiful girls were at the Slayer Megadeth show in St. Louis in 1985. Truth be told, my nigga. Truth be told. Truth and intuition versus instinct. And as I took that little break, I remembered my friend Adam and this is my all-time, look this up, these guys are fucking great. People who like metal, look this up. This is my very favorite, all-time favorite metal band. And I'm not talking commercial stupid shit. This is real American metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call it. Anacrusis. Shout out to Adam, my brother, who I haven't seen in like 25 years. And the great, great, great band who were his close friends, and we all hung out together. Anacrusis, absolutely the best band ever to come from St. Louis. Because it was, listen to the name, Donna, Crucified Isis, right? It's an Anna crucified as Isis, Anna Crucis, and meaning what? The crucifixion of the feminine. I mean, come on, we gotta stop. We gotta pray to our true self tonight. Remove all the knowledge that sucks in me, that is fucking just clouding and taking up storage. Ain't that right? Anacrusis? Anacrusis. Hail out to you guys. And it is Donna, ISIS, that is protecting Iran. And we just want to speak these words over Tehran. I don't even know how to, that's not dumb. I don't know exactly how to pronounce these things. Tehran, the whole country of Iran, from the mountains, the countrysides, the rural people who have nothing to do with any of this. And I mean, let me just, be the 1,000,000th person to state on the solstice, the solace, the solace, the solstice. Yeah, the soul is ice. And that's good, right? You didn't see that, did you? To be hot or cold is good. To be lukewarm is what sucks. If we may speak freely. And let's all take a little breath together, And what word should we breathe in? Because why would you breathe any words in? Because we're in a matrix that is formed in your mind with letters and numbers. It's not up to you. You didn't make the program. You might not be real. You're probably AI fucking bullshit. Right, my niggas? And what a deception we've been under. And the word we're going to breathe in is LOUV. LOUV. Nords. The lunar women. Right? We're going to breathe in LOUV. And what it means is that Lucifer is Sif. LOUV. Sif. Her. Lucifer. She is LOUV. LOUV is Sif. Who's Sif? Well, Sif's my cat. My sweetest girl. My prettiest girl ever. Because Sif is the goddess of Persian cats. We better know her as Donna. You might say, but the myths and you don't understand, do ya? You don't understand. This is the only thing that rationally makes sense. and forgive me for being the one to point this out. Hey, check this out. All the characters in a book, they could be based on real people and shit, but essentially, they're the author. Bang. Pow. There's no Abraham. There's no Jesus. There's no Moses. It's all an allegory. That's what art is, fool. I'm talking to myself. I was a fool. I'm not calling you a fool, art people. Obviously, like when me and Maria sit here and do this, we're speaking with all of you towards the world because that's our militancy. That's what she meant is, I'm not pissed. I'm just militant. She meant, I'm always fighting this war against meaningless fucking pricks like Crowley. And all the power that drives our fears, our depression. Dude, they put shit. If you're suffering from allergies or anything else, you should be so fucking pissed that the government, the farmers, the environment, everyone allowed these people to do this on purpose. Put diseases in the food on purpose so they could sell you the drugs. See, the public is so far behind the real technology. That's why you don't understand anything. If you understood, they had UFOs in 1948, 1949. As soon as Maria had them, they stole all the plans and shit, and they had them. Like she said, I didn't say I'm the only person with a UFO. I said I'm the inventor of the UFO, Joe. The modern day. Like she said, the modern day. And was she saying before that no other woman except Donna could do what I did? And that goes back 4.5 million years ago to the giants, motherfuckers. So it's like she said, pretty safe to say I'm the first, right? First of the little man. The first of little mankind, right? Who took off in a fucking vehicle without an engine. What did it have on it? And like she said, I don't fucking know. All these coils and magnets and stones and crystals. And she said, essentially, what did it have on it, Joe? A computer. She said, believe it, Joe, they had computers just like you have today. She had said they had wireless fucking phones, wireless tablets, where they would text message each other. In Germany, World War II. She said the military all, had those. She said they were letting people see TV, but they weren't letting people see how they found out how to make that image go through the sky into that little box. They didn't want the public to know that they were that advanced. If we could do that, what else could we do with this energy, right? Well, check this out. Your spine is energy, your energy in the natural world, in the first world, Earth. So obviously, once that electromagnetic wave energy that can affect your mind through the TV was established, all the boundaries of mind control were thrown down. And to this day, you have the public still thinking the height of mind control is subject. You are smarter than me. Okay? Now wake up. Check this out. I'm a bumbling idiot. Yeah, you are. You fuck up everything. You're the government. I used to ask people, you trust the government? No. What specific thing that they did that you don't, that makes them not trust you? That makes them not. Yeah, I said you don't trust any of them. The Democrats order, and they'll always start to break down. I said, well, what exactly thing did the Republicans lie about? And they might be like, well, they got us into the Iraq. Oh, hold it. The facts are the Democrats voted to go to war. Oh, well, they never had their facts straight, and let me tell you, people in another country, the mind control in America is this deep. They have been taught you cannot be cool nor smart going around saying, I trust the government, even though they 100% trust the government and fear the government. They fear the IRS. They fear the police. People are watching that Karen Reed, and some crazy far out people are learning for the first time, like, oh my God, the local regular police are this corrupt. They would kill one of their own cops and try to blame it on his girlfriend. And anyone that looks into the case in 2 minutes, I said, well, how did they say she killed him? They say she threw the SUV in park and drove so fast backwards she hit him and killed him. I go, fucking bullshit. As if he couldn't get out of the way. If someone, a 5'2" tiny woman's trying to maneuver a giant SUV like it's a fucking race car, the cop couldn't jump out of the way or run or get behind. You know what I mean? She backed. She was driving fast backwards. That still make it. It's like, did she run over him? No. She just hit him with the gun. Man, that is, who would fucking believe that? And this shit went on for years because the whole clown show is a clown show like Trump. He's a clown with a makeup team. Even the guy from Russia said it's so ridiculous to meet with him because he has to be with his makeup team for 45 minutes. And then he comes out in his costume. This is the height of the end, man. Trump and America's belief that this reality TV star loved us and was going to do something for us was the absolute height of black magic on the masses, on the dumb sheeple. And every sign along the way, he gave himself away, right? They made the MAGA. People made all these movies. The 2020 election was stolen. They stole it. What did Trump do? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. If they really stole the election and they proved it like Trump was saying, George Washington would have had those guilty hung. Trump did absolutely nothing but talk big game and then make deals for high money. No one lock her up. He never locked her up. Not even close. Not even close. You're looking at a fucking monster who is nothing but a parrot at this point and a clown dancing for the cheap fast food of McDonald's. He is literally like a desperate old man. It's like, I'll do whatever you say for just a nice hot meal. Because money means nothing to these people anymore. When you have everything, what do they do now? I just want a Big Mac. I'll dance and I'll kill people for you for it. And what do I mean? I mean the Big Mac of fame and notoriety. The actual man, Donald Trump, is where he is because he's a second-rate actor, but they're like, you're so authentically inauthentic that you just have to play yourself as the president and do what we say. But you just, play the regular Trump character on The Apprentice. You just play that character, but you play it as our Goyim servant. And we'll pay you well. We'll pay you 10 times the Apprentice. No lie. It always is this perfect circle, but Kamala Harris's husband was part of the law firm that represented the Apprentice production company. I have to have all these high-powered lawyers to protect their profits and all that. But, yeah, so they were directly connected. It's just all a clown show. But the word for Iran, we never breathed it. Right? We're going to breathe in a big L, right? 1, 2. And an O, and an O. And a U, which is a V, are all the same to him. Because it's a 5, and it's all magic. So a big, beautiful, as clown face would say, a big, beautiful U. And over beautiful Persia, like the beautiful lion that you are, everything's going to be all right. Breathe in, breathe out, Iran. Ira. Breathe in, breathe out. Everything's going to be all right. While the clown dances on the fire. And we've been saying for many years, we're already sorrowful for what America deserves, can never escape from. And what we've already seen is going to happen to America. And check this out. Let's also breathe a big D, a big a big N, and a big A. Don't be afraid, Iran. My people, don't fear death. Death will be a relief to all the energy that has been unconsciously destroying you day by day. And I speak to you from the land of ice and fire, the fire of hell, war, and death, and the ice that makes you so cold, so frozen, to feel anything for years on years. She said, I have come to break the power of the process church, the golden dawn, Satan, the evil jinn. My name is Maria, Mother Mary, not from the Bible, from the land of Palestine. I am your mother, Iran. I am your healer. Look to no other. Fight and never give up. Fight and never give up, because I love you, and you're blue and gold lion. Your God is my husband, the King, forever, far before you existed in this age, when there were no people left, when only animals and plants and trees, the mountains, the rivers existed. You were in my husband, Lucifer, the morning star of Venus, because he's the one that saved you and will always save you and always be with you. Your last breath will be the first breath in paradise. And I, like you, had children, and I had 9 of them. And everything's repeating. The story of the Old Testament is a story of my husband. It's fiction. It's made up. It's to represent what happened to us. I was from a royal family, and he was my cousin. Not in line to be anything, but always rich, because they were cousins of the kings. His father was not the closest to my father, but he was definitely close. Close enough that Lou was presented. Like she said, I was given basically a choice of about 8 boys at the age of 14. you know, that basically I was going to have to marry one of them because we're in a fight for survival. And she said, this is where the Old Testament comes from. It comes from the restarting of the Matrix, the simulated world, but it also comes from our true life experience, which is why we know Maria. And she said, we were married and we had 9 children, and something helped my husband become very powerful because of his father. And eventually it was known that Lou, my husband, would become king of what you now know as Palestine, because this was all part of the Persian Empire at that time. The time of the giants, were far before any of your smaller man history. Millions of years ago, you can think. Like she said, think of that Great Pyramid as being millions of years ago, and a long nuclear gap in between, which created those deserts and shit. She said, and she did tell me that night, to make a long story short, but I want her also to tell you, through Maria, that everything we touched prospered without trying. Good luck, you might say. And somehow it made people very envious of us. And like she said, we don't even like to talk about the specifics of who is responsible for what, who influenced who. But because of our, and she said, Joe, think of Iran and its people, that they, like Palestinians, are trying to believe the world won't let this happen, won't let the big machine just come eat normal, regular people. Who cares if they're Muslims? I mean, you're not an American. You're not American if you don't believe in the freedom of religion. If you don't believe that there should be Muslims in America, if you believe this is a Christian religion, you don't know America. That's why there is no America anymore, because these stupid Christians have taken over. And may all injustice be truly avenged, even in a simulation. And how the Old Testament came about is metaphorical, like a people leaving because of something horrible. But like she said, it's been changed, Joe. So you gotta remember the double trickery, the real story of the original Bible book that Lou put together, and how it's been manipulated by the crow face, to better deceive people. And Lou, he would never say that he didn't like Crowley. He just said, he serves his purpose. I understand why you and her hate him. He's like, I completely understand and agree with you for the reasons you hate him. But at the same time, he's like, I'm in between this, keeping him in a place to serve us in the simulation. And I got it. I understood. And like he said, Joe, Crowley is a god himself in his order. He is a god. He is, worshipped by these people. It's not up to us who they make their gods. And someone might say, well, that's just a word. It does mean what it means in the energy field. When people's energy are put together and united, I hope you've learned that. What is it? It's literally multiplied by 2 or 3 or 4. And they're like, what are you saying? We're supposed to have orgies? Maybe. But maybe it's only supposed to be maybe it's only supposed to be exactly the people you vibrate the very closest with. And if you miss that mark and let me just say it bluntly, you had an orgy, which I've never heard of anyone ever doing, you might come away very harmed, very confused, feeling like you're like 6 different people, feeling like you don't know who the fuck you are, right? The same fire that can be a weapon can destroy you, or what you understand what I'm saying. The same power. Don't play with magic unless you know what you're getting in, right? Don't play with magic unless you know what you're getting in. Because, like any other weapon, it could backfire. Literally. And that's why one of our foundational realities is balance, is happiness. And we're going to continue. I had to take a break there. It's emotional, but I'm going to be continue with Iran. I just feel a moment hesitation to be with you. Let's just be vibrationally with each other for a moment and breathe. Because, like I was saying, the hot and the cold, it's either or. Where the fuck do you go when you die? Can you communicate with other things? Or are we just trapped right here and everybody that's psychic is full of shit? I mean, that's impossible. I've experienced it. Absolutely no lie. Absolute truth. I could bring the girl one day on here or something. I dreamed a dream. Me and this girl, we were writing our dreams down and comparing dreams all the time. And I told her this dream. At the end of the dream, it had kind of a weird kind of part. It wasn't I didn't. You only remember what you remember in a dream. But put it this way, I didn't see or dream anything that actually happened, but it kind of looked like a scene. Where we might have been doing something not so Christian. And I was a Christian at the time. And I was like, yeah, fuck, these are just dreams. I don't have to tell her that part. You hear me? I was reading the dream out of a notebook, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't go into this, like, kind of weird part here. Because it was like the dream went on, and then what it was, I'll just tell you. It was very strange because it was like a very normal life dream. But at the end of the dream, me and my wife and this girl were all like watching TV in the living room. And like she was spending the night because she had to drive so far away. And she was our friend, a Christian girl that was really studying her Bible and all that. And it was, absolute truth. In the dream, I went to sleep, didn't have touch anybody or have sex with anybody, and woke up. But when I woke up, like all 3 of us were sleeping on the floor, like pretty close to each other, And I kind of just thought, man, that's weird, and it kind of started to hit me, like they were both kind of half dressed, like. Not like they were before. And it was just kind of strange. And like the dream even kind of went on a little bit after that. Like they both woke up but nothing, out, nothing that stood out. Nothing that stood out. It was like that happened. We woke up. The days kind of started, and I just woke up from the dream. And it was a very long dream. I can't remember all. It was like had like three parts before that, and how me and my wife and her ended up like on my couch talking about everything that happened that day, and how it was like fucking supernatural. Okay, so I told her this dream. I swear to God. A week later, or a couple, I don't know, a week later, I seen her. She came over to hang out with my wife. And she goes, "Ma'am, I feel like I'm just supposed to tell you this dream I had." She said, "I hope you don't think I'm weird." She said, "But I wrote it down. And I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you guys." She said, "I don't know why." But in this dream, it was just like normal. I was over here with you guys, and we were sitting on the couch, like talking about like all this supernatural shit the Holy Spirit, because we were Christians at the time, was doing, and we were fucking getting all into it. And she's like, then we fell asleep, and she's like, I had like my whole pajamas thing set on, the matching top and pants. She's like, and I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you this. She's like, in the dream, we like fell asleep or whatever. She's like, but I woke up in the morning. It was like I didn't have my pants on, but I had my underwear on. Like my shirt was like half off. And we were all sleeping on the floor together. I was like, and then she went on to say the rest of it. Like we got up, and I mean, exactly to the fucking T. To the exact detail. She dreamed the exact detail scene that I left out of my dream when I told her. When I told her that, I go, dude, you're not going to believe this. I just gave her the notebook, and I was like, read it. And she goes, that is fucking amazing. She goes, that is fucking amazing. She goes, I can't believe this. She goes, you got it written right here. We all woke up on the floor together. And she's like, how the fuck did that happen? She was looking at me almost half scared, like, what is happening to us? Well, it took a long time for me to to remember, recover, return, that our true selves can do shit like that. Our true selves are magic. That's art. That's true self art. And my true self must have been communicating with her true self. It was told to me. She's here in the Matrix, plugged in, but I don't know her. I didn't know her before I came here. And, I don't know if I've ever told this, but I was shown, just like this, several people, just like the great Tammy and the great Cindy. I like to call them that. Okay, you want to get technical. The people who are plugged into the Matrix that you did not know before you came here. Number one thing, they cannot be your eternal true love. You would know that person before you came here. It's not possible. All things are known before you came here. 4.5 million years into the future from now. That's impossible. So that motivation of like, I'm looking for the one, you have to know if you even have a one. You most likely don't. And you might have a little group, and maybe one of that little group are here. And like Maria said, that would sort of be like the eternal best friend level. She said, I don't decide these things, neither do you. The story itself describes these things. And she plainly said to me, what you were seeing was a prearranged marriage for the purpose of what had to be accomplished here. Right? She said, you will always eternally be connected to Joey and Mindy, but that doesn't mean that either one of them is the one eternal true love for you. Like she said, no other person can define these things. What was defined for you was the gods above us define that for you vibrationally. And that's why it's a loveless love that's not based on, the Hollywood bullshit. And we're going to certainly, one more time, breathe a real breath over our brothers and sisters in Iran. And sweet Donna, the lioness of Persia, the Ramasita of Persia. Why? Because it's hard to believe, but it's possible. There's a natural mystic blowing over the whole world, the whole reality, the whole story. If it's not that, then what is it? And we know it means nothing unless we make it mean something. That's the militancy. The militancy is you're not going to take what it means from me. I won't let you take that. I'll die before I let you take that. And that's the masses always trying to drag you back into, well, you don't know for sure. I mean, you're on mushrooms, right? But here's the Old Testament and the characters of the Old Testament. The author of parts of and you can clearly see that the Bible is, a few different books woven together. And within those books, many, many different things woven together, including original writings of LOUV, but also drawing upon all of the giants' history and experience, which is in your unconscious. So the real truth is, it is so deep that it's almost incomprehensible. That's why it makes no sense. But the real truth is, the very violent, evil, the parts, as Lou said, aren't those the greatest test of any person? And like he said, this was never a story about God until Aleister Crowley. It was a story about the gods, and the story about a certain god named El and his certain son, right? His certain son Yahweh, whose astral self he called Lucifer. Do you follow me? Okay, you following me? That was the original, really mystical book that came out of where? Iran. Came out of where? Persia. Came out of where? Modern day Tehran. Because King Tut is Ra. Ra. And Ra within. Ra within. Ra within. the genius of Lucifer is that he's getting at with this fictional book called the Bible that he allowed Crowley to fuck with to bring out the inauthenticity of the inauthentic onto the real stage that can be recorded and programmed, recorded and logged as evidence. And how this work of fiction, which obviously as you try to go back and research, there's an obvious real difference between the Yahwist, who worshipped multi-gods, and Yahweh was one of their gods, along with Isis, Egypt, and I believe it was like Marduk or something from Samaria, was some of their, and many others. They were not, they were complete pagans like any others. They had, their peoples had ancestral gods and all that. It's like two different realities. And then I believe they say it's like 400, 500 AD, you see what we know today as like modern Judaism, like we'll kill you if you're gay kind of stuff, We'll stone you to death, and we're crazy. We're on a eternal Passover of slaughtering your children. We're after your children, even the babes suckling at the breast. Happy we are when we bash your children's head on the rocks. I think Yahweh said that about the Israelites. He said, I'm so mad at you that happy be the Babylonian army when they smash your kids' heads on the rocks. I mean, that's... Ooh. But anyway, Donna LOUV, the great, as I sit here under the magic scarf of Allah. How it all makes sense is as Donna said, as we truly thought everything was going to be all right, because why? We were so prosperous. Everyone had a lot of food. Everyone, we thought, had everything they need. And like she said, it's the, age-old archetypal story of jealousy, envy, and all lust for what you can't have, motherfucker. And she said, make a long story short, she told me that in a like she said, in like a true terrorist attack, we were taken, and many of our friends were murdered in the middle of the night, working their way to the palace, and before we knew it, they were in the palace. They had killed most of my children. My oldest was 18. My youngest was in my arms. Hella. That's our great Hella. And Jason was her fifth born. And Jason. And she said all hell broke loose. Like she said, we lost our minds completely. We don't know what happened. We don't know how many people we killed. We don't know if there was any rationality. But she said, I really, Joe, she told me, and like she said, it's a long time ago. I'm over it now. She said, but Joe, I'm still telling you to this day, I am Kali. Like, I was cutting people's heads off, and I still, like she said, I can't regret it, because the edge of that feeling that all of your children are dead. All your sons, your firstborn son, all your sons, all in, and your daughters, and your baby daughter in your arms. Like she said, they took her from my arms. And she said, that's where you have, like, go into the land and kill everyone. She said, Joe, this is a fictional story like Lord of the Rings or The Dark Tower. And this is the archetypal of the true hero. Loses his mind completely and goes and experiences the absolute lowest a good person can go. And she said, you know where that is? Blacked out. Blacked out. She said, in all the time, she said it's like life started in fast motion and everything was stuttering and skipping. And she said, it's like I just seen my husband, who was my complete life, my total son that I revolved around. She said it was like we just seen each other. Couldn't even speak, couldn't even communicate. We were just as one in total rage. She's like, I didn't even care if he lived or died or I lived and died. And she said, I was determined to kill until I was dead. She said, I was determined to kill any person that even knew that they were going to do this and didn't tell us. And she said, I know that's not right. I lost my mind, Joe. She said, I want you to look at me, Donna, the beautiful black-haired Donna, with her beautiful blue eyes, said to me, Joe, you can never judge anyone. Our people can fall lower than the masses because the context is they're under the pressure 1,000,000 times to the millionth power than any of the masses. And she said to me, does it get lower than trying to harm yourself with a crack rock? You can be true warrior and fall so low, and you must then pick yourself up off the floor and know that's not you, although you experienced it. What you were, it's not you. It's not your essence. It was the essence power can only take so much. It's like a fight, with 3 or 4 people. Like, you're not going to win. Eventually, that's the world you entered into. And she used to tell me all the time, Joe, if you knew the ratio of good people, the bad people, and the masses, it would scare the shit out of you. You're surrounded by your enemies energetically. So just, stay calm, stay where you are, and don't just follow me. Follow me. And so all the characters in the Bible, Joshua, David, David kills, I don't think, it was his friend, but not his close friend, but like a guy that was very respected and known, and he knew himself. He had him murdered and took his wife, and you see that's the mob mentality, the survival of the fittest. Like Maria said, there's nothing in this world we could be more against than crushing the weak, crushing the sick, crushing those who need help. She said, it's not my way. I'll never agree. I'll fight you till the end. And she said to me, Joe, after years of depression, where I could only be around Siggy, Addie, and a few other people, that I started to realize that I had no bigger purpose than to be an artist, create dances, and do what I do best: heal people. She said, I didn't know that I did that best because I was so worried about saving Austria, saving Germany, saving the innocent people from these monsters that were economic monsters. That just wanted the money, just wanted the control, just wanted the banking control, She said it took a lot. And I realized that as I was doing this, you could help me. She said, I have another person, that you know very well, who works with me also doing the same thing. And what she calls it, jokingly, is psychic, not psycho, psychic. Psychic babble. Because, and it's not really babble, but it is kind of, because what she does is she gets very connected in with the person with her words, which she don't need a lot. But then she likes to bring me, like she said, I like to keep your eyes closed the whole time, like maybe never even look at the person ever. And she said, sometimes I'll have you hold her hand, sometimes I won't, but I'll just have you say, tell us what comes to your mind. Tell us what you know. And she said, you do have the ability to just speak to the person in time, their true self. I believe, you believe, they believe, is all that matters. But the results are there. She said the scientific, the mathematical results are there. Because it's the whole blind experiment. I don't know the person. I've never met the person. Don't know anything about them. If I do say something relevant to you, it's because your true self is telling me to. And that's the bottom line, So remember, the Bible, the Quran, and all books are characters of the authors, creations in art. Even history books have been turned to art by the god of this world, Lucifer, because it's a grand illusion, a trick, not to harm you, but to occupy the evil, keep them content with their simulation, and teach you what you could never, ever, ever be taught any other way. And our heart energy goes out to Iran this night, and all of our brothers and sisters, all the innocent people, no matter what religion, race, no matter who you are in Iran. If you, and I know there's very few truly evil people there, to our brothers and sisters who just work to take care of their family and don't even have time to do much more, to you, our heart energy goes out. Our real hug goes out. And we will gather together one day in the inner earth, in paradise, with Allah. Do you hear me? With Allah. With Allah. And we will get to know each other and be friends like 90. I've never met a Muslim I didn't like. Hey, let's end on that. I know it's religion, and I'm sure there's bad, I'm sure there's mean Muslims, I'm sure there's crabby Muslims, I'm sure there's all of that, right? I live in St. Louis. I've never known a lot of Muslims. Most of the Muslims I ever met were in a coffee shop, and or down in the shopping district of St. Louis, where like the hippie shopping, the music district, shopping alternative district, right? And I've never, some of the best conversations I had were with strangers, were with Muslims, especially after 9/11, because Muslims aren't stupid. They know buildings don't fall like that. They know that the CIA, Mossad, MI6 have such control over everything. How did those people get into the country? Oh, the CIA clearance. It was CIA clearance. It was a CIA clearance that got them in, right? But over you, we speak of more love without death, and may the Persian lion purr its protection all around you, Iran. We, from the heart of our hearts, love you.